me a lot, and it is a strong noise.
And that's the electrical impulse that our brain is capable to understand and analyze and not to give up or any external information. And what happened with the balance? I bring this here. So we have these two parts, these semicircular channels that have a very little thing in the inside. And what happened here? There's a liquid that is going to move every time we move our head from one side to another, and that helps us to be balanced according to our surroundings. And well, something that reminds me a lot of this is the Wii. Do you remember the gyroscopio that detects which way you're going to move? And there are other organs that you can't see clearly, that are the ventriculum and the saculum. I am not going to expand on this because it's very complicated, but basically our ear helps us to listen and see how our body moves according to our surroundings. So if we talk about disease, we talk about balance and hearing. But now we're going to go step by step. First, hearing. What problems can cause in the hearing level this? There are very young people who are in risk of losing their hearing abilities, mainly because of the use of headphones at a very high volume, or maybe these people are in places with very loud sounds. And if these people do certain activities like the ones I mentioned before, these hearing loss is going to increase. And could you give us some examples in, like our everyday life? Well, maybe we think that this is something that only happens when we go to the pub or a party, where there are very loud sounds and the music is very loud, and that implies a risk of hearing loss right in the moment. Actually, I remember that the daughter of a colleague fell asleep in the boombox of a party, and when she woke up, she couldn't hear anything, and that is very real because of the acoustic trauma. But what happens in other examples? You could, for example, lose your ability to hear in the long term when you're 70 or older. For example, in the United States, there are 20 million people who are at risk of hearing loss because of the surroundings they work on. Imagine that you go on the bus or the metro or in your car because of the traffic, and you're listening to the radio in a high volume apart from the sounds that are in the street. So you put it in 80, 90, 100. So I think that the number one public enemy of the sound is the sound. So if you listen to music in a very high volume, is very harmful for your ear.